People have said to me, why do you have to cover the U.S. midterm elections? Well, here's why. The U.S. is not only Canada's closest neighbor, we share the world's longest international border. We have 120 land ports of entry. Nearly $2.6 billion in goods and services are traded between the U.S. and us every day. That, plus all the cultural and the family ties, is why we pay such close attention to this place. Earlier today, I spoke with someone whose job is to manage the relationship, Canada's ambassador to the United States. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a delight to be here. Thank you.
You know, Canadians watch the United States closely, certainly whenever there's an election. And in this election cycle, particularly because of the polarization and the political violence, what's your takeaway from these midterms?
Well, you know, I actually would like to say that I think that yesterday was a really good day for a U.S. democratic process. It was very high voter turnout, both in advance and on election day. It was a safe and orderly election. It's not to say that there weren't a few incidents here and there were, but by and large, it was a very safe and orderly election with a big voter turnout. There's still more votes to be counted, but I do think, especially given, as you say, that there was concern around safety and around security, the fact that it was so normal and so well attended is a real vote of confidence for the U.S. system.
President Biden and former President Obama were both campaigning in the final days, saying that democracy was on the ballot in these midterms. Are you confident that the guardrails in place are strong enough in this country to protect democracy?
I am, but I do believe that Americans need to keep paying attention to those guardrails. They need to be paying attention to their democracy and fighting for it. And I think they are fighting for it. I think the reason that we are hearing so much about it is because they care so much about it. You know, it's true that the rhetoric around political discourse, sometimes the tone and tenor is divisive, is disrespectful. But that's not just true in the United States. That's true in a lot of countries. It's true in our country from time to time. And I think we need to pay attention to that. Since you mentioned President Obama, one of the things that he used to say is that it's important to learn how to disagree without being disagreeable. That's probably something we should all think about.
Let me ask you about the Trusted Traveler Program, the NEXUS program. It's still not fixed, right? I think there's a backlog about 500,000 Canadians who are waiting to
For NEXUS, it's about 350,000.
Okay,
still a lot. Still a lot, not to diminish it.
And they've been waiting a while, and I understand that there's still the issue is not resolved. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce, I think, is worried that the program might be ended. Is that the outcome here?
No, it's not the outcome. And actually, just at the end of last week and the beginning of this week, Minister Mendicino spoke twice with Secretary Mayorkas. I have been speaking with the most senior officials in the Department of Homeland Security about the program, and I think there's really two things to say. Most important, the U.S. has recommitted time and time again to the program and said they want it to succeed, they want it to continue. I'm not worried. It takes time. It's frustrating for those that are waiting, including people, you know, at the embassy and in my family, and I'm sure all of our families, but we'll get there.
All right. Ambassador, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.